Good morning, soccer friends. Welcome to First Touch 26. We are bringing you the best World Cup coverage every single morning from our beautiful studios in Midtown Manhattan, and we are just getting warmed up, people. It is day 5 of this historic World Cup, and we've got so much to dive into today. I'm Susannah Fuller alongside my guy, David Goss. How are we feeling 5 days in?
I feel great. I feel like we've had some real World Cup experiences.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 days, like I said, I thought the openers were really cool, and 3 host countries, it's a little bit different, and we were in this, and the World Cup's different already with 48 teams and all this stuff, but I feel like the last 2 days have been the classic first weekend of the World Cup. Everyone's just binging the soccer. Everyone's online together talking about it or in person. You know, my buddy did the classic tour of like, he went to the Dutch house for the Curaçao game because as a former overseas colony, they're hosting watch parties, then a different Dutch bar for the Holland game, and then you go to a third bar. And so watching people have that experience, I said it yesterday, city was flooded for Ecuador fans. I think we saw it in Philly. You're starting to see those experiences, and they feel like very World Cup games, because the thing about a World Cup game is the stakes aren't higher than anything else. Finals, and that's it for other like club competitions or other internationals. But this is that goal will follow that person for the rest of their life moments. And I think we started to see that over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. And I have found myself, I'm compartmentalizing my day according to the kickoff times for each match. So I have to get stuff done in between, like the hours in between matches. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, it's a very regimented schedule. I forgot how regimented you have to be during a World Cup in order to be effective at life, essentially.
And the next lineup is out the moment this game stops. I love that, because lineups coming out in soccer to me are one of the coolest like traditions of 1 hour before the game. Yeah. It's your first talking point and like thought process and all that stuff. So when that hits, like game starts to me. And so the fact that one ends and the next one just is right there is pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. Also, I just want to check, did you get some sleep yesterday? Because you were very sleep deprived.
Again, that hour in between. Little naps here and there.
Yeah. The scheduled naps are key. Yeah, amazing. Okay, so typically we do our big 3 things. There's only 2 of us today, Goss. So 2 things.
Blessed be his name is not here.
You know, he's been grinding.
Yeah.
I understand. So what's your thing today?
Well, there's just so much happening. There's a lot of different ways to go, but I think this one really connected with me because I've had this experience a little bit myself. And it is there was a Curaçao fan. Yeah. Curaçao lost 7-1 to Germany. We'll talk about it, but they equalized at 1-1. And there was a Curaçao fan who was interviewed. I think it's on German television. And the question was like, how come you didn't win the game? And the woman says, 1 goal against Germany, we did win. We're a small island in the Caribbean. I'm watching it now, reading it. It's only a dream for us to be here. And that was her answer. And I went to the 2014 World Cup as a fan. It was my first World Cup. I was a U.S. fan. I went to their games. And the only thing I asked for going down was one moment. Because I think the expectation that your team will win all the time, I mean, different fans from different places. I guess if you're, a Spain fan coming to this World Cup, there's different expectations. Certainly. I just wanted to have that one euphoric moment where it was take a lead or tie a game and just have that like full explosion. Dempsey gave it to me 19 seconds into the game, and I was good. From then on, I was like, I'm good. During the Portugal game, I was like sullen. I was sad. I was like, but I got that moment that I asked for because I had been to sporting events where you never got that moment. Like build-up was great, and then it never happened. So to have that even after the 7-1, and we posted on our socials the video in, I think it was like a mall watch party in Curaçao, the celebrations after the game. And a lot of the comments are like, but lost 7-1. And it's like, yeah, you don't get the point.
No.
It's a country of 70,000 people. They made it to the World Cup for the first time.
That goal
they were
was
on
the
a stage, with the biggest team, and they equalized. Yeah. And you saw it in the celebrations. Like it's one of those where guys start rolling off in their own directions because they don't know what to do with themselves. Yeah. And it's something that they'll have forever. And I think it's something that will live on and something that will be a huge moment in their history. So that like reset me a little bit on some of this, where you're like, there's been complaints about the expanded World Cup, and outside of that game, I think it's been pretty good. Also, Brazil lost to Germany 7-1 in a World Cup semifinal.
That is true.
So if we're eliminating teams all time from the World Cup because of that, we'd be in a pretty bad spot. And I don't want to see a bunch of these, but Tunisia is a classic World Cup team. They lose 5-1. That's a team that's always here. Paraguay, that's a team that's been to 4 of the last 6 World Cups. So I don't think that's been as big an issue as people have said. And I think having that context really brings back the moment of what this means for some of these countries.
Oh, that's beautiful. I got goosebumps when
you
you were
go.
talking about that. Curaçao, I spoke about, they were my vibes team heading into this. And what we saw yesterday was so beautiful and just really drove home like what this is all about. And it's such a pure moment, and they were so joyful, and it was absolutely infectious. So I love that takeaway, Gus. Well played. What
about you?
What about me? Okay, so I'm gonna have to give you credit for this one, because I did not know that there is a thing called the Curse of the Rocky statue.
I didn't know this either, to be clear.
No idea. By the way, I love the Rocky movies so much. Like I feel like every Memorial Day they do a marathon of them on TNT, and I will sit and watch all of them.
I'm not as big a fan of the movies, but I should have known this because I literally lived in an apartment with my cousin from Philly. Our Wi-Fi was Pennsylvania, and our code was Dawkins 20. So I've lived in Eagles territory, and I didn't know this. Go Birds. Happy birthday, Al. And I didn't know this. So
So as a Rocky fan, I thought that I would be more aware of this, but there is this thing called the Curse of the Rocky statue, and Philadelphia fans will typically put the jersey of the opposing team. So the Eagles fans, the Sixers fans, they'll put the jersey on the Rocky statue to curse them, give them bad juju before a match, and they lose. Nobody informed the Ecuador team about this because they decided to put their jersey on the Rocky statue in Philadelphia.
That place, if you see the video of it, it is flooded with yellow jerseys.
But
the
guess
Rocky
what
steps
happened,
were
Gus?
flooded, and people get excited.
They lost, man.
They did lose.
They lost.
They did lose.
The curse of the Rocky statue is very real.
It's gone global.
Gone global for sure. I think unfortunately the Ecuador team is like the sacrificial lamb here. That's like, okay, now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know not to do that. But I was just like, wait, what? How did I not know about this thing?
Someone get a Germany jersey on the Rocky statue, because I think Germany plays in Philly as well coming up.
Oh, man.
You learn something.
Someone's going to do it. I know.
We're learning our own country through the eyes of other people.
And that's what we're here for,
That's what we're here
inform all of you about all of this very important information. Okay, and speaking of important information, we have some breaking news this morning.
We love that.
Guys, crazy. Tunisia have apparently fired their head coach after losing to Sweden last night. 5-1. Sabri Lamouchi is gone. He was hired in January after Sami Trabezi was fired post-AFCON. So not even really like a year into this job.
Which isn't shocking. So since January of 2024, whoever gets hired tomorrow to coach this team for this game will be the 7th different head coach in a 2-year span.
So this is a volatile situation.
2024, 4 different head coaches. What I do think is unfortunate is that actually wasn't the case for Tunisia for long stretches. Like, this was one of the most stable national teams in the CAF region. Partially, I think it's because Tunisia is like high performing, small population, and with their power teams in club side, it really just fed the national team. And so it was pretty straightforward of like, here's the best players, here's who call in. The national team's changed a bit. You have players going into the Bundesliga, obviously, Kadiri, now you have Hannibal. Some of these players also coming from European backgrounds. I think that brings a different culture into the federation, different expectations, different coaching styles needed. And everything that I'm seeing out of Tunisian media is there were question marks coming into the World Cup with the culture that he had built in the locker room. And it didn't feel comforting for a lot of players, and they didn't feel super involved.
So why not do it before the World Cup?
Well, when you hire him in February, when were you going to fire him?
This just seems...
No, I don't understand.
This seems very problematic. You're one game in, and yes, you lost badly, but you're not out of it yet. Yeah. And it just feels erroneous to me.
So the first 3 goals yesterday against Sweden were fairly self-imposed mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You had mistakes playing out of the back. You had goalkeeping errors. I would say the Isak goal was not. I think it's a guy at high speed taking a shot you don't fully expect. This is a 24-year-old goalkeeper's fourth cap ever. He got his initial call up in March by the same coach. I think so that has led to some of the angst against him.
Okay.
Was it felt like this was his call, and so the one thing he made a call on went super poorly, and maybe the team wasn't behind it, and so there's not that connection there. I thought coming off the second goal, they fought back, they get the goal to make it 2-1 going to halftime, and I almost texted in our group, I think that might be the most important goal of the World Cup so far, because first goal is always the most important, but like that felt like the first time where it was like this team's on the verge of being blown out or out of it, and the goal at that time going into halftime, it felt like the momentum shifted.
Yeah.
Then your captain makes a mistake, just literally a mental mistake, gives up the third one, and then they collapsed. And I think it's worrying for the federation to see their team collapse, and then you got to figure out, you got to get your finger on the pulse of like, is this savable? And my guess would be this. I will just say this. My guess would be it won't get worse because they lost 5-1.
I mean,
so like the hard part for them is you're probably playing the two best teams in the group coming out of this. But Ivory Coast fired their coach in the middle of a home AFCON 3 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
They went on to win the tournament. He is now coaching the team that went on to win last night. So
very good point.
National team is less built in tactical stuff because you just don't have the time to do it. It is really culture vibes and a couple little like, can we get this right here? And you're hoping to hit on that now for this team, but it's a bad sign across the board.
I just wonder what it's like from a player's perspective when you're literally one game into a World Cup and there's already this complete upheaval. And they're going to bring in someone that you may or may not be familiar with, might have a completely different idea in terms of how they want to play, how they want to set the team up.
Right.
Like guys are suddenly thought that they were in, and then are they out? Like
Right.
I just think the mental gymnastics that this is going to impart on players cannot be a good thing.
I wonder if all that becomes positive, which is you kind of need a hard reset coming out of this game anyway.
Yeah.
And that coach having to earn a spot in the next coach's team or them not carrying the stink of this, maybe it does that for you. But we are in unprecedented territory. I think that's what everyone should take from this. Going back and looking through stuff, there have been coaches who have been fired. I mean, I guess the biggest close example to this was in 2018 when Julian Lopetegui took the Real Madrid job. For post-World Cup in Spain was like, oh, sorry then. I didn't realize you'd want a job after this. And they fired him the week before the World Cup started, or the day the World Cup started. And Spain ended up going out in the round of 16 to Russia in that World Cup. And there's been always coaches under pressure because at this point, you're at the end of the cycle. There's frustration. Most coaches' contracts run to the day after the World Cup. And then they have to either re-sign or not. So it's always a conversation in a World Cup. Will they come back? Will they not? Is there pressure?
Whew, man.
To fire someone in the middle of it.
Brutal. And they play Japan next,
Yeah.
which, as we saw yesterday, not going to be easy at
Yeah.
all. Let's get into a little bit more of what we saw yesterday on the field. Let's talk about Sweden, who is a team that backed their way into this World Cup. Worst qualified team in the World Cup. But you look at their roster and you look at the weapons that they have specifically in the attack with guys like Isak and Gyökeres. You know that they are dangerous, and clearly we saw that on display yesterday.
The whole conversation coming to this game was it was the second time ever that they played together because Gyökeres...
It looked like they hadn't played together.
And Gyökeres kind of came out of nowhere in his career. So he was not this phenom who was pushed into the national team early. And then Isak's had injuries. So like the moment Gyökeres came on the scene, Isak's been out. And the hope was, and I think a national team like this has to, is it's too much talent to leave one of them out of the team. So you got to find a way to make it work together. And I do think the solution they came to is Gyökeres dropping in and finding Isak into the channels. And that's where that second goal comes from. And the reason I don't think the second goal is down to mistake from the goalkeeper is what Isak is elite at is his ball striking and decision making at full speed. I think the way he carries the ball at full speed is the smoothest, where he's able to keep the ball under control. And so as a keeper, you don't know when the shot's coming, where for many players, they have to set themselves up to get into their shot. And so normally it's that cutback. Goalkeeper can set themselves, power step, now I can make the move. Isak strikes that ball somewhat early, catches the goalkeeper off, and now you're coming down a little bit late. And for a Sweden team that came in with very low expectations, blah, 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 all of this, to just play from leads and to have that opportunity is obviously massive. So
it's huge.
It was a perfect start for them. I had them fourth in this group, so I was wrong.
Yeah, they're sitting on top of this group
Yes.
right now. Isak, to your point, he was the man of the match yesterday, a goal and 2 assists
Yeah.
to go along with it. He's, of course, coming off of that nasty ankle break that kept him out of Liverpool's season for a significant chunk of time.
Okay.
I know.
You're going to be okay.
Sorry, I start sweating a little.
PTSD rolling around.
But it was really encouraging. I think he's still a little off in terms of fitness. But if he is producing in this way at this stage in the World Cup, this is a very good sign.
Yeah.
A very good sign for this Sweden team, who have now put themselves in very good position to emerge from this group.
And I think the conversation around Sweden coming to the World Cup was on two sides. One was, can they, they're the worst team to qualify. They've been on this bad run of form for 2 years now, 2+ years. Are they even relevant? And the other was, well, there is this individual talent. And if it clicks at the right time, could they be a Morocco from 2022, right? Like in theory, the quality of players in some of these spots I don't think anyone in this team's as good at what they do as Hakimi is.
Yeah.
So that's like world-class stuff. And that's why I don't compare them to Croatia, because Modric in 2018 was on a level that no one is in this group. But there are guys in that space of could start for Liverpool, starts for Arsenal, players that are starting for Brighton, some of these bigger teams where I think Lindelof and his experience, where I think Sweden will have belief that if they do what they do well, if they're able to defend as a unit, if they're able to find these guys into the channels, if those two can play off each other, that they should be able to take down most teams. So Yassine Ayari with the opening goal scored a brace.
Yeah.
I had never seen this before, but then Flo Lloyd-Hughes, who will be joining us in a little bit, reminded me. He scored the opener, didn't celebrate, and I'm watching it, and you're like, did he used to play for Tunisia? Like, that's normally what you do. You don't celebrate against your old club. His father's Tunisian, so he didn't celebrate the opening goal. I think that's really cool.
Wow. Okay.
It obviously
I didn't
shows
know that.
the
That's
complexity of the international game now. And so it was a really cool moment. And Bril Mbolo, who was born in Cameroon, scored against Cameroon for Switzerland at the last World Cup. He also did
the
celebrate.
same thing. Yeah, because that is something you typically only see during
But you don't really
a
move
club,
international
at the club level.
teams.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Interesting.
Yeah. So, and he ended up scoring the 5th as well, in which he did celebrate, which I think's fine.
Yeah, so he
You
didn't
don't have to-
celebrate
yeah.
on the first one, and then
You
he
only
was
owe,
like,
you only
you know
owe,
what?
yeah, you only owe them one. You owe them the respect, but it's not a lifetime
Also,
thing.
though, like this is a World Cup, man. You just scored.
Well, that's
a
what's
goal. Like you gotta,
crazy.
yeah.
That's the goal.
I'm gonna want to celebrate in
And
that moment.
and the way he hit that's the moment of his life. So
Totally.
to keep the composure there, I thought it was a cool, respectful moment. And for Sweden, it's a dream start. The assumption now is they're through.
100%.
They'd have
Especially
to get
with the goal differential. Yeah,
they'd have to get destroyed in one of the last two
It was
games.
the most goals by a Swedish team in a World Cup game since 1958.
58 was a good year.
Good year.
Yeah. We had fun in
remember
58.
it well. We
yeah.
did, didn't
that
we?
podcast was one of our
That was like
betters.
peak Susannah. All right, let's move it along. Should we start with yesterday's first match of the day? Germany-Curaçao. I know that we talked about it a little bit, but just to drive home the point again, we all know the result of this one. Germany won 7-1. They were the clear and obvious favorites heading into this Curaçao World Cup debutantes in 2026. I was at a bar in down in Stone Street.
Love that.
Which is, God, it's a really nice setup down there.
Adrian's Pizza Bar?
By the way, no, they had it's like outdoor
Yeah.
seating, but they had the TV screens in the windows,
Love
so you
that.
could sit outside
Gotta do
and watch.
it.
It was
Yeah.
brill. So that's where I was taking in this game, and I was sitting there. Germany had already gone up early, 1-0, and when Curaçao equalized, it was magical.
Yeah.
It was such a and to go back to your point you made, it didn't matter what the result of this game was going to be. It really didn't, and because I don't think anybody really thought that Curaçao had a fighting chance in this match against Germany. But that goal, that equalizer, and you kind of saw Germany, like their eyes got a little big. Like it was like, what just happened?
Right.
Did that just happen? Did we allow this? And it was such a beautiful World Cup moment, and everyone was cheering, and it was so very cool. And then
Germany poured it on.
and then Germany
Yeah.
decided to take it seriously.
Yeah, this Curaçao team, they were one of your vibes teams for a reason. The music, the energy, the experience they were going to have. On the Germany side of things, I think the tough part for them is there's still a lot of question marks about this team, and I don't think a game like this answers them. One thing I find interesting is how spread the goal scoring was.
6 different goal scorers. I did get a goal. Yeah. Yes, I think we all have one now.
I think I have
in the Golden Boot draft, guys.
In our Golden Boot draft. Scored. I think I have Doku coming today, which I'm excited about. I think Doyle may actually have more than one because he's trolled so many people. He's got to find it. But yeah, so not more than one goal scorer, which positives and negatives at, right? Everyone gets a taste, but also one of the issues for Germany is who's our go-to in the attack. It's obviously the team revolves around Musiala. I thought he looked bright in this one, and so that's probably the best thing you take away from this game. I don't know if there's going to be some sniping about Manuel Neuer coming back into this team. He concedes the goal. What else is he supposed to do about that? It's a bizarre moment. So I think that was the sort of iconic moment, is the one goal for Curaçao. And for Germany, unfortunately, we're just going to wait to learn a little bit more about them. It is very clear that they're going to be in a tough battle these next 2 matches because Ecuador and Ivory Coast put on a bit of a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Did this performance from Germany, I know you kind of hit on this, but did it make you feel nothing about them? Like the barometer didn't go, the needle didn't move either way.
It made me feel that they're not coming into this one with their shoelaces tied and they're like joke Germany, but I don't know. I guess you could say that about 2018, like just the way they lost in some of those games. Yeah. Those are obviously tougher opponents, but this is not a federation that normally like trips over themselves. So you did the job you had to do, and I don't know that I learned a lot from that in terms of where they stand.
No, I think that's fair. I just want to make one more note about Curaçao, which I think is really cool. So the population of Curaçao is about 165,000 people. They had over 6,000 fans travel, and apparently that is like over 4% of the entire nation's population traveled.
It would be like 20 million American
traveled
fans.
to Houston for this match, which I think is so cool. Like what? Oh man, I'm loving.
Yeah, we're getting requests for soccer.com from people that we know that are like, "Hey, I need the Curaçao kit." Like that's been a high riser.
And their away kit, the yellow one,
that's what people love.
Oh, it's very colorful and bright. I mean, very much reflective.
We should go to Curaçao. I think part of this show should take place in Curaçao.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
No, it looks amazing. They've got a floating bridge. Old Dutch like painting cities. Plus, I hear the water's the best. Curaçao blue. I think John and Ben should talk about funding for a trip to Curaçao.
I just thought blue Curaçao. You know the liquor. So
which comes from there.
You guys, it's literally this like electric blue liquor. There was a bar in Champaign, Illinois, where I went to college, called RR's, and they had this thing called the Shark Bowl, which was basically some copious amounts of booze in one big fish bowl. The blue Curaçao, a lot of blue Curaçao.
So it looked like something called,
and just the multiple straws. Everyone's drinking out of the same thing.
When I lived in England, we had one called the atomic bomb that they lit on fire. That was pure blue Curaçao.
The headache. I can actually feel the headache right now.
I'm glad we went
coming on. Blue Curaçao.
Yeah. My parents went to Curaçao a few years ago. They brought back a bunch of it. It does come from natural colors, though, if it makes you feel better.
Wait, it does?
Yeah, there's an orange.
I thought there was no food that had a natural
There's an
blue.
inedible orange in Curaçao, and that's what they soak the sugar cane or whatever in.
Wow.
That turns it blue.
Who
knew? You got that?
Gosh.
That's what this show's all about,
I love
baby.
this show, man.
Boom, boom,
boom, boom, boom. We hit it all. All right, let's get into what I think, and I think many other people on the socials are saying today was the best match of the tournament so far, and that is the Netherlands taking on Japan in Group F. This one taking place in Dallas. All the goals coming in the second half.
Yeah. So if you're going to go back and watch, you only have to watch
exactly.
45 minutes.
Go watch this one. But the thing that struck me about this, so it was a 2-2 draw. Japan had to come back from behind twice. And the second goal, the equalizer, like just before stoppage time, a header off a set piece against a very big and imposing Netherlands team. I think there's a mentality monsters sort of situation with Japan, whereas on the flip side of that, the Netherlands, there's always been kind of questions about them being able to get to the end of a big international tournament, and they did not do themselves any favor in letting Japan back into this one after having taken the lead twice.
Doyle talked about it on the show yesterday. Again, R.I.P. Doyle. He's not here today.
We just bury Doyle
every time. But this is a Dutch team that I think anyone you'd put in a world-class conversation is defensive based, right? Van Dijk would be the one probably right now.
Yeah.
That you put in, maybe Dumfries, who obviously brings a ton to the attack, but again, defensive based. So one of the issues, maybe Reinders is in there, but then you get into that midfield, and that should be the strength. These are all guys who play at elite world-class clubs. But Doyle's point was all of them are ball retention players in their teams.
Yeah.
Reinders is a goal scorer as a late runner. Those aren't chances he creates in possession. And I think what you saw in the first 45 from the Dutch when they were sort of in the ascendancy and had more control of the game is there's not a lot of final third decision makers. Cody Gakpo will take you on 1v1 very clearly. And I think in international tournaments, it's worked for him over the last 4 years because he's so consistent about it and he is good enough to get there 12% of the time. And that does end up being a goal or an assist a game, which is a huge number. And that's sort of what they leaned on in the beginning of the game. Malin had the one big chance, and you're trying to get him to take that Roma form and bring it over. But I don't still think he's like that pure natural center forward. I think he got on a hot streak, and so his movement's not so clear in the middle to help open up space. And so I think this Dutch team is going to struggle because they can't pull away from teams. I also think they'll be in every game because of who they are. But what I think you saw was when they were on the front foot, they could not put Japan away.
Yeah.
Then they dropped off so much up 2-1.
They invited.
It was 9 guys on the top of the box.
They invited Japan. It was like them saying,
And everyone kept yelling, why are they crossing? Why are they crossing? Why are they crossing? I get it. 2 things. One, this is a Japanese team that has played a ton of big international opponents and has scored a lot of goals in the air. I'm done with you're tall, you win a header. It's about body positioning. It's about timing. It's about reading the ball. It is not just the tallest guy wins every time. That's like, yes, Harry Suter's maybe a little bit different. You're probably not going to win a battle against him, but that doesn't mean it's impossible to win. The second thing was because the Dutch were so deep, every second ball was just popped back out to Japan, and then they had chances to shoot from distance or to start to open them up. So I didn't hate that was the Japanese players' game plan, that they started to put in the crosses. But on the flip side, I think you see the loss of Mitoma, the loss of Minamino a little bit less, and then Endo, which again, who's going to pick a lock on this Japanese team? Who has a moment of magic? I think Kubo showed flashes of it, but there is a lot of straight line, I'll make the right decision players. There is not a lot of I'll break the game.
Yeah.
And that's what Mitoma was supposed to be. And I think Endo can be that as well, just in body positioning shape, the moment he decides to cut a pass back and whatnot. I think for these two teams, you'll take a 2-2 draw because you're in a driver's seat going forward. Now it's what can you do against Sweden and Tunisia, which is a better situation. I don't think either of these teams that were in a dark horse convo coming into it put themselves out of that into a favorites convo from this one performance.
No, I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. I do want to point out the Liverpool connection because Ryan Gravenberch assisted on Virgil van Dijk's goal, who opened the scoring for the Netherlands. That was his first World Cup goal, which is interesting. Yeah. Because I think Virgil van Dijk is pretty much universally revered as one of the best center backs ever, but I think he did come under some scrutiny for his performances with the national team. So I feel like that was probably a big monkey off his back. I thought Ryan Gravenberch was the star for the Netherlands yesterday. 2 assists for him. I thought he looked really, really reliable. Their attack.
The second assist is an assist.
Well, it's an assist.
If the guy takes it on the dribble, beats a man,
on the stats, it says assist. So
and you're obviously stats only.
Obviously,
the analytics.
I'm the analyst.
Yeah,
I am a very good analyst. I was so pleased for the Japan team and the Japanese fans that were there with their bags cleaning up afterwards as they do. It's like, how do you not love these guys?
I was at the opening of the Inter Miami Stadium with the Austin fans, and they did that. I've never seen it before in person.
Wow.
The Austin fans all went and got bags, picked up all their trash in their section after the game, and cleaned up. I should find that video again because I recorded it because I was like, oh, whoa, this is how this actually works in person. The number one fan for me was not the one that kept showing with the painted face that had melted.
Oh, yeah.
It's the one who had the giant white square head thing, painted his full face red, and he was the red dot. He was the red dot. I was like, that's a great thing.
Really good.
Japanese fans are the best. I've been to a Japan World Cup game. They adopted me. I was fully in. If you are in the area with them, if they're coming to your city, if you've got tickets, you're going to have a great time.
I had my Japan kit on yesterday, and I literally walked like the entire island of Manhattan yesterday, and I was stopped probably 15 times by people yesterday talking about my kit, how great it was. And I was like, I think it's my favorite one. Favorite one of the tournament. All right, let's move it along to Group E. Ivory Coast taking on Ecuador last night in Philadelphia. Wow. Okay, so Ecuador. We've talked a lot about Ecuador at this desk and how they are a maybe even more than a dark horse, like at the top of the dark horses category.
But what did we keep saying?
Scoring goals is a problem. Defensively, we know that they are absolutely sound. But this was they lose 1-0 on a very late goal for Ivory Coast, and it it just looked like they had run out of gas at the end of this one.
Yeah, I would say they hit the post twice hit the crossbar twice in the first half. Enter Valencia had a huge opportunity off a turnover. It felt very much like Ecuador. The game plan or who they are is sit in, be clean. If you make a mistake, they take advantage. They don't always force the mistakes. Like there wasn't a ton of high pressure. There wasn't a ton of traps set out by them. It was more, okay, we'll sit in this mid block. If you make any mistake, we jump on it, we go. If not, we revert into our low block, and then you can't break us down because we have 3 center backs, 2 Champions League starters, Caicedo, all this stuff. And I think in the first half that worked. They didn't finish. There was 3 opportunities that they should have put away, especially the one late on that came down the left wing. You curl the shot past the keeper, you put it off the crossbar. Like that's just a chance you have to finish. And it felt like maybe they had heard all the hype we talked about. It felt like they played with pressure. And the crowd was fully...
Is it our fault?
Maybe it's the crowd's fault. The crowd was fully on their
side.
It's the
Rocky
curse,
thing. Yeah.
The Ecuador anthem, I think, is the best one we've heard so far of like fans singing in the stadium and enjoying it.
Pretty powerful.
Obviously, New Jersey, mainly that area, up into New York, down a little bit further towards DC, massive Ecuadorian communities. So everyone came out for this game. And I think this game had all of it. It had that crowd. It had sort of that even nature of like, these are 2 of the better teams. It could go either way. And I think Yan Diamante's performance was also a big...
He's legit, huh?
This is an arrival moment, yeah. And he had this, I said on Blue Sky, like he has this feeling, and I've gotten it with Alphonso Davies when you watch Canada. It's not like, oh, he's going to play center mid and has to be around it. What they do is outsize. There was a moment where Diamante's in a 1-2 on the right sideline, sort of towards his own half, and they lose the ball, and he just like comes back and gets it. Where it's like, oh, he looks older than everyone. Like he looks like he's playing with younger players, and he's just like, oh, if I have to fix that, I'll just go fix that, and then we'll get back into it. None of what he created led to a goal. Like he wasn't actually involved with the goal, which is wild after all of that. But he played on the right side. He played on the left side. You have to send 2. When you do, there's still a 50% chance he's going to sneak through it. He played with intent, but I don't think he was overly selfish that the ball died with him. And so I thought it was a perfect performance for him. What a bright spot. I think the number's only going to continue to go up on a potential transfer fee for him as this tournament plays along. We highlighted him yesterday as our football manager, wonderkin, sort of young rising stars. And this was why. Yeah. Because this is what he's capable of. There's a lot of talent in this Ivory Coast team. He is probably going to be the piece that can get them over the top. And a historic win for them. First time they've ever beaten a team at a World Cup that's ranked higher than them.
Wow. Didn't know that. Yeah. Huge victory. And a great moment for Amad Diallo, who came off the bench and found the game winner in the 90th minute. I think for like Ivory Coast, how did this make you feel about them in terms of emerging from this group and their ability to surprise some people in this World Cup?
Great.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those unknown teams where you're like, on their day, how often will it be on their day? So to come out and play one of these games out the gates is huge. The other piece is I like the depth. Like Diallo comes off the bench And I think there's a decent chunk of people who felt he should start. But I don't think that you can watch this game and not feel like Torre deserved to be on the field early on as well. So now you've got 3-4 options in the attack where you can move guys around. And so that's what you need to get across a tournament. I thought Doué was great. Singo's 3-minute span where he shields the ball out and then screams at an Ecuadorian player in the face. And then 2 minutes later turns and does the 40-yard run to set up Diallo, which is not an easy finish. And then after that, ends up with more shenanigans. 2 minutes later, taking a dive to kill some of the clock. Elite defending quality. So, I felt really good about this team. I thought Fofana, a lot falls to him because everyone else is scrambling across the wings. And so he has to be cleaner. If he's going to shoot, it's got to be cleaner. But I think there's a little more decision-making he can from the top of the box of, can I find a second pass and get us back into an attacking moment? But overall, for Ivory Coast, you have to feel good. And they know what a tournament run feels like.
Yeah.
They went to that final 3 years ago. That was pure tournament vibes. Once you get into it, can we keep getting tight? Can we find a difference? And Frank Kessie is one of the best penalty kick takers on the planet. So they're always going to bet on themselves in tight games.
So in Group E, we've got Germany, Curaçao, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Germany, Ivory Coast both getting 3 points in this. How do you think this group is going to look at the end of the the group stage?
With head-to-head being first over goal differential, the Curaçao goal differential sort of goes away.
Yeah.
But Ecuador is now in a tough spot because they've lost head-to-head to Ivory Coast. So the Germany-Ecuador game becomes must-win. I had that circled as the best group stage game coming into the tournament.
Did you?
And it's only ramped up.
Did you?
Yeah.
Man, you're good at this.
Or I'm wrong and the game will happen and I won't talk about it.
Or that. Well, one of the things I also love about Ivory Coast is their kits. I'm sorry, this is so good. Can we zoom in? Can we just zoom in on this?
There we go.
The elephants, guys. Look at this badge. Yeah. It's so good. And then this whole print. So this is their away kit. I also love the orange kit that they were wearing.
And if you're listening to the podcast, you got to Google the jersey or come watch it on our YouTube page.
It's so good. It's that badge is just phenomenal. But I thought this is a perfect time to segue into my top 5 kit matchup segment presented by Soccer.com. Carry the crest as you represent your team this summer. You'll find the widest selection of World Cup gear at Soccer.com and get a free Goal Club membership with the purchase of any World Cup jersey with code KICKBACK. And as a reminder, Goal Club is the longest running and largest soccer loyalty program in the country, providing members with a lifetime of savings and rewards on their favorite soccer gear. All right, guys. So I went ahead and looked at these upcoming group stage matches and went through and picked out some of my favorite kit matchups that we will see on display on these beautiful pitches that we're seeing throughout the World Cup. Are we ready?
Yeah, I am. I would like it to be stated that originally we had said 3 to 4, which you shifted to 5, which I think became 6.
Couldn't decide.
You're in your bag. I'm just saying. I'm excited for it. It's like watching Jalen Brunson in a closeout game of the playoffs.
Then, like I would see when I'm like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, that one's good.
I think it also means we're in a point a time of greatness when it comes to the kit game.
Well, exactly. Okay, so let's start it off. We've got the first one, Belgium taking on Egypt. Okay, so if you're watching this is, I think, Belgium's going to be playing in their red kits, which are it's a
clean classic look.
So clean classic. Right, I also love their badge. It's they've got the Adidas yellow stripes going down the sleeve. I just think it's super classic.
Their badge has very much European 1930s train station energy,
and
which I love.
I'm here for it. Completely here for it.
Maybe have a little coffee outside.
Oh, yeah. I like that. And then Egypt's kit is, I believe they're going to be playing in their away kit, which is
they're white.
A white kit, but there is this print in it, which I don't even know how to describe this.
I think they're supposed to be pyramid shapes.
Oh, yes.
But I agree with you, not on me all the time, but on the players, what Puma has done, because you have it on yours.
I do, yeah.
Well, I don't know how you call this, like when the style comes in. No, the like print part. It just adds this pop that like first glance you don't notice, and then as you see it in person, it's even better. Like this is the type of thing, because we saw it with the U.S. blue jersey, where the moment you see it in person, you're like, I love that.
Yes.
And this one has that as well, and I think it's awesome.
Beautiful. All right, next up, France versus Senegal.
Which we're getting in tomorrow.
Is that the game you're going to?
I am going to that game.
So you're going to get to see this in person?
Yeah, here's the question with France. Which one do you like better? Because their dark blue has a white collar.
Yeah.
But then they've got a Statue of Liberty mint color.
I know. You know I love a collar.
You
know I love a collar. And for me, the France kits are always just super, super classy. And I think I like the dark blue one better for that reason. It
Which
looks
is the
very
one they'll
French.
be wearing in this game. Yes.
Looks very French. But I do love the mint green and the homage to
France
the Statue of Liberty.
needed a collar. I feel like they haven't had a collar for a couple tournaments, and they needed one, and it is what elevates them. France will be wearing this blue, and then Senegal will be wearing their white.
Which, again, it's that same sort of thing from Puma, where it's that print in the background. And
So here's the thing that I learned.
yeah.
I believe, I haven't seen it in person. The print is actually on the inside, and then it comes through as slightly shaded on the outside.
Clever.
Genius.
Brill.
And there's so much to it for this one. Like there's so many details with the lion, the Taranga lion, which Taranga
and
means
it's right
kindness.
in the center. The lion is right in the center.
The chest.
Like right
you
on the
gotta have
chest.
it on your chest.
So you hit it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I like it even more. Okay. Yep, that's a winner. All right.
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. Excited. I'm gonna need.
And the other one's
report.
today, so you're going in order for me.
Yeah. So now we've got Ghana facing
Dreams.
Panama.
And we're talking Ghana gold jersey.
Gold jersey.
Yeah.
Gold
right
jersey.
here.
Ghana
which
gold
also
jersey.
is you're in the bag a little
I didn't realize that I picked so many.
because you like the pattern style.
I do.
The black star in the middle, very bold.
Very bold,
is a good
very
look.
iconic. I feel like if you know exactly what country this is when you see it, and it's just kind of iconic. And so I feel like in a World Cup, like you have to have at least one kit where it's like, oh, that's Ghana. You know, that I know exactly what team that is, and that is that kit.
And they will be wearing this in the game.
Exactly. Now,
And they will be facing off, I believe, against Panama. Which
who
is an underrated one. And I was a little surprised. And I opened it up and I go, yeah, 100%.
I know. I was like, oh, this is so clean. So Panama,
in that game, they'll be wearing red.
It's a red kit with a collar, a navy blue collar that has a little bit of a white stripe accent in the collar.
But it's a thin, wide collar. So it's not like France where it's huge, which I like because it's more for look than all over your neck.
And it's a Reebok kit.
That's the part that was a
crazy.
Total curveball.
Like when was I can't even think of a Reebok kit that I've seen. But it makes me love it.
And then the white, the chest plate one.
Yeah,
that's like old Umbro style, which I think England's for this World Cup kind of does vibe as well. But that's great.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right.
They made it on your list twice.
Yeah, listen.
They're the only ones.
Well,
Los Camaleros.
That's right. Next up, we've got Mexico. That will be in there. I believe they're going to be in there. Is it the black one? I think it might be the black one.
Let me get it for you. The black one is filthy.
Honestly, all of Mexico's kits are good.
Yes.
Like they're.
Well, the classic, authentic thing, the throwback thing they did is so genius.
Good.
But here's the black kit.
So the black kit is. It's just, it's got that sort of Aztec print in the background. It's an Adidas kit. The thing that does it for me is the trefoil, the Adidas trefoil in the red, white, and green.
So
it is so clean, so classy. And then it's juxtaposed next to their badge, which is just
huge and which is perfect.
Awesome.
You need it to be huge. Like minimize the crest, make it chill. This one's like, actually throw the Aztec eagle across this thing.
I think I might have to go get this one.
We got the green one behind us.
The green one is behind us.
And the green one also has a great pattern because it has as well. Reverting back to, I've been studying this a little. It's called the Triple Alliance, not the Aztecs, if you really get into the history.
We've got the France one there that I was talking
We've
about.
got the France one as well. Yeah, we've got 3 or 4 of the ones that you chose. This jersey, unbelievable. And then in this matchup, they go against South Korea in their magenta kits.
Oh, it's so fun.
Magenta.
It's so fun. It's like a floral watercolor painting that they will be wearing. I love this. I think it is so beautiful.
And the neon green lettering or like numbers for this.
I like the
so
font
perfect.
of the number as well.
It feels very like Korean culture, modern
elegant.
Korean culture. Yeah.
Elegant.
Elegant, but also like a
elegant.
pop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. Oh God, that is beautiful. Yeah.
We got most of the ones you pulled out are coming up over the next week. So
I know.
Everyone's going to soccer.com right now because you don't want to be
you don't want to miss
watching
out.
these games.
You don't want to miss out.
This
okay.
is classic.
So this is classic. Obviously, everybody knows. So this is next one is Panama versus Croatia. Croatia is the red and white checkerboard,
which is the flag.
That is, I mean, you. Like we were talking about, immediately. You can identify a Croatia kit immediately, and so I love that they stay true to this.
So they have a giant white stripe down the middle that has no checkers.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I like the contrast. I think it's really clean and sharp because the checkerboard. I mean, it's a loud print, right? Yeah. So I feel like they did a nice job with that clean white stripe down the middle, the crest right in the center. It's balanced and it works. Okay, so they're taking on Panama.
So we're back.
To Panama.
Let's see if I can find it on the fly.
I know Goss is doing double duty, everybody. The guy
but
is pulling up.
It's a blue Panama kit?
I think so.
We don't even have that one.
We don't have that one?
Yeah.
Oh,
we have red, we've got white.
All right. Well, it was good. Go look it up. I wouldn't have picked it otherwise. But yeah, it was pretty special. Okay. So for our final matchup, Colombia taking on DR Congo.
Yes.
And the Colombia kit is just, I love how bright, and it feels like, I feel like Colombia's kits are always a very good reflection of Colombia as a nation.
And I have the secondary kit, which they'll play. So I'll put up on screen the blue.
Yes.
I think this is electric.
Oh, it's
one
gorgeous.
I got is the only full kit I got.
Gorgeous.
And this one also, it's not classic Colombia, right? It's not it's not the blue from the flag, whatever. Yeah. But the vibe is like pure Colombian energy.
It's beautiful.
I think the juxtaposition with the more classic yellow, but which also has some energy to it, is great. Also, as we go through these, we are on soccer.com looking at all of them. Most of these countries for Adidas have these throwbacks.
Yes.
The throwbacks are perfection.
So
go buy those too.
Go buy all of them on soccer.com. And then can we look at DR Congo's? Because it's got the animal print.
So good.
So it's a beautiful kind of azure shade of blue, and then it has that. What is that? Like a zebra? A zebra print. Yeah. It's an Umbro kit, which I love.
Yeah.
Total throwback, but it's got the nice clean banded sleeves. I love this.
Me too.
I love it.
Yeah.
So those were my picks. There was too many good ones.
3 to 5 to 6. I love it. And this is a huge opportunity.
Huge opportunity because we are doing a third kit giveaway. So you can have your chance to win one of these kits that we just talked about through soccer.com. So make sure you're following us, First Touch, on Instagram for your chance to enter and win a World Cup kit this week.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then you could choose any of the ones we just talked about.
Yep.
I know our initial giveaway, there was a heavy request for Japan, to the point where I think some of the names that were asked for were just sold out.
Yep.
Because that's what everyone wanted. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome opportunity to get a free kit. If not, go there and grab whatever you need, because I've been seeing people wear, I hadn't been wearing jerseys the first few days. And it's one, people don't talk to you.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that you care as much. And two, you feel left out.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I've been rocking kits all week, and the amount of conversations that I've
You're posting Instagram videos about cool convos you're having, and I'm at home watching them because I don't have a jersey on.
I know.
I'm gonna start wearing jerseys every day.
Come on, get with the program, Gus. All right. Should we take a look at the slate of matches today?
Absolutely, we should.
We should, because we've got 4 more matches on tap today. So let's pull up our little graphic here. It's coming.
Yeah, Jordan's got us. Jordan's hanging with us today. Derek went on vacation.
That's
He's
right.
like, I can't handle this
there it is.
anymore.
Look at that. We've got Spain taking on Cape Verde. Their first ever appearance in a World Cup today at noon. Belgium versus Egypt at 3. Saudi Arabia taking on Uruguay, and Iran versus New Zealand at 9 p.m. Eastern. That match in Los Angeles. And to help us get primed for today, we have invited a very, very special friend, our
first ever guest,
prominent football journalist, Flo Lloyd-Hughes. welcome to First Touch 26. So great to see you.
Thanks for having me. I love the way I kind of snuck on and appeared.
Do you see how we do that?
Magic.
So
We kind of assumed you'd been waiting down there and just it was the pop-up
She's
thing.
been hiding under the desk the whole time. She was getting a little
The kid
uncomfortable.
segment was her favorite while she was balancing.
The magic of TV.
Yeah, the
It's
magic.
So good, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man. So Flo, I mean, how many World Cups have you covered?
Quite a few. This is the first big tournament I've done in the US, which is
Okay.
exciting. Been to the US a lot, but never done a tournament here yet. Done a lot of Europe. Didn't go to Qatar, but like covered it from London. But it's been great so far. Obviously clashing here in New York with Knicks Mania. So I
Oh
think
my
that's
gosh.
been
You are here at
interesting.
such a wild time.
Flo was unhappy because Flo went to a bar to watch the Scotland-Haiti game during Game 5 of the NBA
no.
Finals
And
in New York City.
People in New York are probably going to tell me I'm an idiot and I'm crazy for even expecting to watch the Scotland game. I was trying to have a world in which we could do both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of
I
course.
wanted one Scotland game,
Never
one
gonna
Knicks
happen.
game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you were right. It
Yeah.
was never going to
I
happen.
have a funny story. So I was watching the Brazil-Morocco
Yep.
match at a bar. And then probably with 20 minutes left in that match, the bar started filling up with people there for the Knicks game. I had a perfect seat at the bar right in front of the television. And I had 3 people offer me money for my
Wow.
seat.
How much we're talking?
Yeah.
I got $20.
Okay.
And did you take? You took it.
Yes, I did.
Oh
Of
my
course
Were you
I
going to
did.
leave anyway?
Huh?
Were you?
Yes,
were-
I was.
yeah. You were never
100%.
planning to
No,
stay.
I was never planning to stay.
That's great.
Never.
Wow, I love
So
that.
I made
Cashing
20
in.
$20 because it was such a primo seat, but it was so funny. Everyone was all these people in just full on Knicks gear and they could not care less about what was on the screen.
Well, I think that's what's.
But I took
interesting.
advantage.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that might shift for the non-football heads already in this city.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people here that love football. I mean, I know that from people here when Arsenal won the Premier League, there were Arsenal shirts everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's, they're very present in this city, and the Premier League's massive here now. But I'm interested to see, for the wider sports fans in this city, if now the Knicks run is
Yeah.
done and they've won, they start to shift over and start to become interested more in the world.
The other thing I would say is the bar I went to was filled for people who showed up for Brazil-Morocco to watch to then go into the Knicks game.
Yeah.
Where it was conscious.
Yeah.
2 things. 1, closeout game. So that. 2, Haiti-Scotland is not Brazil-Morocco.
No,
It's
no.
for the neutral. So there's less
The only
interest.
people that wanted to watch that were Scotland fans.
Exactly.
No neutral
Yeah.
unless you're sick in the head.
Exactly.
Like us.
And most of the Haitian
Okay.
fans were probably in Foxborough because
Fair.
it's close enough.
Yeah.
So that's the other piece. Now, I'm not saying if it had been Germany, Netherlands, it's probably still not on TV.
Yeah.
But I can have that opening since it was Haiti, Scotland.
Amazing.
Which overall, World Cup, we're halfway through the opening of the group stage, a little past it. What's been your vibe, thoughts of the tournament?
Do you know what? It feels like a very different World Cup because 48 team has changed it. This group stage, I think, is going to feel like a bit of a slog. The fact that we're only, like you say, halfway through those first round of games. I wonder about that fatigue, the hydration break discourse, which I know for, true football heads in this country, people are watching it on Telemundo to avoid the ads. In the UK, people aren't getting ads for hydration breaks, so that's a plus. So I think there's been little side stories about how this feels like a very different tournament to, traditional football fans' experiences. So I'm going to be interested to see how that continues.
What's been your sort of highlight of this World Cup so far? Either a match, a player, a moment?
I think the Netherlands-Japan game was
Yeah.
a classic, and the Japan fans were amazing. I think the US performance really surprised me. And when we were chatting before, I think there's a lot of US fans who are obviously feeling good about this team and feel like they could do something, but I don't think many people expected the manner of the performance and the result and the gap that was on show. So that was really impressive, and I think that's critical. I mean, any tournament, men's or women's, the host, obviously they're sharing the hosting duties, but there's so much pressure on them, and I think if the host does well, I think everyone should want the US and Mexico and Canada to do well because it keeps the tournament alive. And so I think that was really important because there's just so much chatter around this US team, around Pochettino, his future, around the players, and Pulisic's face being on everywhere and every single advert. It's just Pulisic. So I think it felt good to see a statement performance like that from him, from Pochettino, from the whole squad. And I'm hoping that's going to continue to build excitement around this team, because I did see some guys and girls about in USA jerseys, but maybe not as much as I'd like to see.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's going to be different on Friday, I think.
With Knicks being done, you think it'll be a bit louder?
I think what I said was I think they needed to get the buy. People needed to have a reason to buy in, and I think the Paraguay game did that. And then you add on the fact that it's a Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time game, so it's like now you make your day about it. It's an excuse to make your day about it. I think the neutrals too, I could be interested, got pulled into fandom from that one game, and I think it came out combined. It was like the 5th highest watched World Cup game in U.S. history.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you needed. It was the spark point that you needed, which brings me to my next question. You're going to travel for England, right?
I am, yeah. I'm going to
England, Croatia?
Going to Dallas tomorrow for England-Croatia, which is England's toughest group match, and also a team they know really well. We played them in Euro 2020, which happened in 2021 because of COVID. We played them in the group stage then, beat them. We obviously lost them in the semi-finals in 2018 at the World Cup, which was a real breakthrough moment for England, the fact that they got that far and they won a penalty shootout and knockout football. So it was a very huge moment under Gareth Southgate. So there's a lot of history there. But a bit like the US team, and obviously with every squad, there's just so much noise around this team all the time, so much expectation. And the big storyline coming into this tournament is Jude Bellingham, his relationship with Thomas Tuchel, whether he'll start, stuff around his kind of aura / ego, and the balance and potential rivalries within the squad. Because for England, historically, before Southgate came along, so much of the noise was about the club cliques within the squad. So like the Arsenal players and the Manchester United players, and there being a lot of rivalries around that. And Southgate culturally did a lot to shift that and make it like one big group. And it feels like now under a new coach, that noise is becoming a little bit louder. So in terms of what people are talking about back home and around the England camp, it's very much like Jude Bellingham.
Do you think that was part of the decision-making in Tuchel's squad decisions of some of maybe these potentially bigger names like a Phil Foden or Cole Palmer not making it, but then bringing in pieces that are maybe not a part of one of those cliques?
Yeah, the real peacemaker is Jordan Henderson. So he is someone who
glowing.
No one has ever really, for the last few seasons, expected him to be playing for England. He's coming towards the last stage of his career. He's now at Brentford. He had a very good season.
He's coming toward. I was going to say he's kind of blown through the last stage of his career.
But he got a lot of criticism when he took the move to Saudi. And then I think he had to work hard to rebuild his reputation, but he had a really good season with Brentford, so that's helped. But he is basically there as the peacemaker and also the experienced head. England fans look at his pick and are saying, why the hell is Jordan Henderson in the squad? Yeah. But those around the camp and all the coaches say, he's the most popular guy on the team. Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham actually did a bit of content recently from the England camp, and they were saying if there's one player you would put down like as your top choice to be in this team, it would be Jordan Henderson. So he's so popular, and he's seen as the go-between, and he also has a really big leadership role. He takes charge in warm-ups and things like that. So as much as you look at that squad and you're thinking, why is a player who probably won't play any minutes taking up a spot? They focus so much on the personalities. And I think hopefully that will have a good impact.
Yeah. Flo, you talk about the expectations that come along with this England squad. And I'm curious to know, if you were to poll a bunch of English fans right now, what would they say is the bare minimum of success for England in this tournament?
I think the extra round of a knockout makes it really tough, because I think if we'd be talking about a traditional pre-48 team World Cup, I think people would say like semi-finals, because we've shown that we can get to the last 4 of competitions now. But I think this extra round is really going to separate the men from the boys. And also, if you don't top your group, you could end up facing Mexico in Mexico City in the round of 16, I believe, if they don't.
Yeah.
And I don't.
I think if they do, they will.
Oh, is that if they do, Tom?
Yeah.
I think that game is going to be
That's the game I would love to
seriously
see
difficult.
more than
I mean, it'd be an
anything.
amazing game, but I think that's going to be, you know, the deal breaker for England. And yeah, so I'm intrigued to see that. I think what's weird about this tournament is this is probably the lowest expectations I think people have had for a while because there's been a lot of transition, new coach. People are coming to this tournament not really knowing around the vibes, and there's been so much negativity, I think, around just like cost of tickets and travel and everything. So I think back home it's taken a while for people to get excited.
Yeah.
But then when you open social media today, I've seen lots of people make jokes about how there hasn't been a 0-0 yet, and England-Croatia will probably be the first 0-0. Because the last few years, although England have been doing well in knockout tournaments, their group stage performances have been pretty stinky. So I wouldn't expect necessarily like dazzling, exciting football. Like England have become very good at knowing how to navigate tournaments, but not really being that entertaining.
Yeah.
And I guess fans just have to, you know, deal with the fact that do you want to do well and do you want to win, or do you want to have a good time but go out you know, early doors?
I want to ask about the heat. Okay, because as we saw in the team photo shoot for England, these poor guys with
Very red.
their fair skin and no sunscreen. I Declan Rice with the watch sunburn just absolutely slayed me. But Matt Doyle gave me a very hard time. I selected Harry Kane for my Golden Boot draft, and he said no because these English boys are going to melt in the heat. Is that something that is even, I mean, is that just lore? Is that just us playing into a stereotype? Like, I don't think that's going to be the case, but I wanted to ask.
No, there's
you
been
as
a
an
lot of
English fan.
chat about it back home. And I think, you know, when you look at someone like Ivan Toney, who plays in the Saudi Pro League,
Yeah.
exceptional penalty taker, but I think being used to the conditions is also a big plus for his inclusion. I think it's going to be interesting. I think using your squad is going to be massive. I put Harry Kane as my Golden Boot, so I wouldn't criticize you there, just because he's coming off the back of a very strong season.
Absolutely.
He also is a penalty taker. I think, you know, England doing well in this tournament. If Harry Kane does well, England do well.
Okay.
There's so much reliance.
Is
on
he their
him.
most important player?
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah. I think in terms of guaranteed name on the team sheet, and with the jury's still out on how Jude Bellingham's going to fit in, but I think also when you look at how playing direct in this tournament within these conditions and the heat might be a factor. I think England can do that well. So I have to wait and see, I think, with this first game
Okay.
in Dallas. I mean, the beauty of Dallas is it's an air-cooled
Yeah,
covered
Yes,
stadium.
exactly.
So,
It's oddly their
Wait till
best
you see
conditions.
Jerry's
Yeah.
world. Oh
Yeah.
my
So
Lord.
I
But then
think-
they go outside, they go to Gillette, and then they go to MetLife, which
Yeah.
are both going to be brutal, and they're both earlier games.
Yeah.
So it's going to be gross. On Kane, fourth, fifth all time in caps, top in goals. He's been to 2 semifinals and a final. Like, it's hard with modern day because legends are such legends that are unimpeachable. I mean, does he have to win this to be an all-time great, to be a top 5, whatever? Is there no chance he gets in that category no matter what he does? Like,
I would put him down. This is me personally.
Yeah.
I would say already he's
Okay.
one of the greatest England players we've ever seen. And up there with the greats who did win, you know, like the Bobby Moores of 66. You know, there are generational talents like Wayne Rooney, but his career ended so much earlier than
Yeah.
it should, just because physically he couldn't cope, and he actually didn't get to probably play in as many major tournaments as he could have done, and was hampered by injury in some of them. So he could have been up there, but I think Kane's consistency and how important he's been in tournaments for them, especially their run to the 2020 final, that was all about Kane. I think, unfortunately for Kane, so much of his career is defined by a lack of winning trophies. You know, he stayed at Tottenham for so long, and it became, you're never going to win anything. Went to Germany, doesn't win the title in his first season, finally does. It does feel like a lot of his career is going to be defined by a lack of trophies, unfortunately. But I don't think that should change what he's achieved and how he will be remembered in an England shirt. I would love if they could win something, but, you know, Euro 2024, Spain were the best team in that tournament and deserved to win. Euro 2020, that was the tournament that England fumbled.
Yeah.
And there are so many good teams in this tournament. I just don't know if England will manage to navigate all of those rounds and come out on top.
So who else are you watching? Who else are favorites?
Spain for me, France, when you just look at how good their squads are. I mean, defensively, France do have weaknesses, but like their squad is absolutely stacked. Same with Spain. I guess for Argentina, just based on having won it 4 years ago, but I don't think their squad's as strong as it was. Portugal on paper, very good, but also, do they have the mentality to go all the way? Those are probably my standouts. But
What would be a team like a dark horse for you? Maybe one that not many people would expect you to pick.
I've got a lot of hope on Japan.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, I didn't.
Assisted or hurt yesterday?
I think yesterday was fine.
Yeah.
I think yesterday was fine. I've got a lot of hope that they're going to reach the semi-finals. They're on the pathway. Like I think they want to win the World Cup by 2050. So this is very early on their kind of strategic
Did you hear
stuff.
the 100-year plan?
I haven't read it in depth,
no,
but I
me
know
neither.
like there's
And Pasagoglu, nice. He said like they have a 100-year plan,
Yeah.
and they're like on year 30,
Yeah.
and it's like they follow the plan.
Yeah. And I think that,
That's crazy.
when you look at their results, I'm sure you guys already talked about this, like against top teams
Yeah.
in the last couple of years, it's been amazing. Did really well in Qatar. I think the mentality is stronger than it's ever been. Technically, so good. And they can compete with the best. It's a lot of it, though. They're in a tough group, which is probably good because they'll play really tough games early. But it just depends what path you go on through the tournament. So you have to be a little bit lucky. Like England have been insanely jammy up until Qatar, and same in 24 in terms of the path that they've gone in tournaments and the games they've had to navigate in the knockout rounds. They've actually been gifted pretty good games.
I was waiting to see what jammy meant.
I know.
I didn't know if it was good or
you
I was
never
like,
heard that before?
No, I was like, I think they've had lucky paths, so I think that's what
You've
Flo's
never
saying.
heard jammy before?
No.
No,
Oh,
not in
take
that
that.
sense.
That's
I
a-
love
Yeah,
it.
that's a good one.
Yeah, they've been really lucky.
Jammy would be you're playing an
So
instrument. you're jamming.
you do need a little bit of that to go your way to make it. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting.
So I have if Morocco finishes second, Japan finishes first, that'd be a round of 32.
and that's a tough round.
That's
of 32.
brutal. But you would be playing second place from A and B, which could be South Korea, Switzerland, Bosnia. So it doesn't stay impossible there. And then I think if you have I'm looking at it, you could end up with Brazil otherwise in the round of 32. Not ideal. No.
yeah.
But you have to beat someone at some point.
Yeah.
That's
And
like the part I try to remind myself.
I think England could potentially be on a path for Brazil quarterfinal in Miami, which would be crazy.
Yeah.
So I think there's so many great storylines already. Great to see new teams in the tournament. A lot of young, exciting players. I'm really excited to see, how the US play in their next game.
Yeah.
Because I think the expectations are now like skyrocketed. So how they handle that is going to be really interesting.
I hope they're not too high of expectations, but yes, I do agree. All right, guys, time now for our North American segment presented by soccer.com. One of my favorite things that I have seen through this tournament is not happening on the soccer field. It's not even really happening in the stands. It's happening outside the stadium, and it is a duck named Merlin, who is now the unofficial mascot of Mexico. Have you seen this? Have you seen this,
I've seen
Flo?
them waddling around.
I'm obsessed
Jordan
with
hit
this,
us here,
this duck. So this duck was seen outside, basically marching with all the Mexico fans.
Around.
Just waddling around. And so his owners, they sell water outside of the stadiums before matches. And she basically said that she has domesticated this duck, trained it to walk by using a harness first.
Unreal.
And now it knows just how to walk beside them. And he loves walking. She had this little Mexico
The
jersey.
kit is so good.
Custom made by a woman who makes jerseys for pets. And I just can't get enough of this little guy. Merlin is a star. He's the star. Do you know how I feel like every World Cup there's like some of those moments like this, or like a fan or whatever. This is going to be like, I'm going to remember Merlin, the duck from 2026
I would
World
agree.
Cup, right?
Merlin will be world famous. is world famous.
He is world famous already.
This is the power of a World Cup. You can have a moment that goes global, even if you're an animal.
Oh, so good. So that was brought to you by soccer.com. And make sure you visit soccer.com for the widest selection of World Cup product, free shipping on orders over $49.
Yeah, they don't sell them duck size.
They don't.
But you can get
You
one.
can't
and
get the
change it
duck
how you
kit
need
on
to.
soccer.com.
But you can get it for yourself for sure.
Yeah, but if you're crafty, you might be able to buy one and then, doctor it a little bit. That's not me, but might be for you. All right, we've got some games today to look forward to. Flo, which one are you particularly interested in?
It's probably not the one that people would say is the most interesting, but Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, I'm interested in. Obviously, Saudi Arabia famously beat Argentina in the group stage in 2022. Argentina go on to win the tournament, and that was one of the biggest shock results we've ever seen at World Cup. And then when it comes to Uruguay, there's just so much drama around that team. I mean, you've got a very famous, historic kind of, intriguing figure in Bielsa as the head coach. You've got the drama of Luis Suarez not coming out of retirement and kind of falling out with Bielsa. There's also a lot of chatter because Uruguay are very frustrated with the fact that their flight was delayed to get to this game. And I don't know about you guys, but there's nothing I love more than when official federation accounts get really catty on social media and they sort of drop the veil of any sort of professionalism and they start doing shady tweets and stuff. So Uruguay were very much like
just
shady.
Petty.
They were very annoyed about the delay to their flight. And I just think there seems like, there's always one chaotic drama team at a tournament, and the goal is to not be that team. I think Uruguay are going to be that team because I think storylines are going to follow them, and maybe the first one will be today.
And you add in Darwin Nunez, hasn't played since February because of the internationals on his team in Saudi Arabia because of Benzema. So a guy who you're probably reliant on.
Who doesn't have a team.
All of your goals.
Yet, by the way, so this is a big showcase
and
for him.
He's his own character as well, so you never know what you're going to get.
But we were talking a little bit before about dark horses and where you compare them, where you try and get them to. And I had mentioned sort of talking about Ecuador, I think it was, as a Morocco comp because I couldn't put them in the Croatia 2018 convo because of Modric.
Yep.
Fede Valverde, is world class and can dominate games both sides of the ball. And if Uruguay goes on a run, which it's not impossible because they're not going to concede. As bad as they are, right? They're not going to concede goals very often. They just can't figure out how to create them. If Valverde has 2 goals and 2 games where he pops out, like he could be in a player of the tournament conversation if they can go far enough. But the chaotic side of things is never good. And I do wonder the Uruguayan stone and steel with Bielsa sort of sprinkled on top. Does it become Bielsa, or does Bielsa slightly shift them but not a ton? I think that's the fascination of all of this. And to Flo's point, Saudi Arabia, they beat Argentina at the last World Cup to open, and they only lost 1-0 to Uruguay in 2018 at a time when Saudi Arabia lost 5-1 to Russia. So these are matchups that have been kind of tight.
Yeah, that game, 6 p.m. Eastern tonight. They'll be playing in Miami. All right, we also have Spain taking on Cape Verde in Atlanta in Group H action at 12 p.m. Eastern. Spain, obviously, as you mentioned, Flo, one of the clear favorites in this competition. Cape Verde have never been here before. So this feels lopsided, but you never know. There could be that moment of magic as we saw yesterday with Curaçao.
And to your point about the group stage, is the first favorite to kick off. We're 4 days into the tournament. Argentina hasn't played. France hasn't played. England hasn't played. And now this is sort of can Spain set the tone?
And it's been shockingly quiet at the Spain camp in terms of...
Well, it's Chattanooga, Tennessee. There's not a lot going on.
But that's what I mean. It's worked in their favor. They've kind of, befriended the locals.
Hanging out at Walmart.
Keeping their heads down. There's not a lot of noise there, and that helps. Lamine Yamal's looking like he's going to be fit. Probably won't start in this game, but expected to get some minutes. So things are looking shockingly drama-free, but does that mean that there's a kind of banana skin in the works? And they're on a 31-game unbeaten run.
Yeah.
So it's almost like it's too perfect.
Yeah.
Do we think it's because the Real Madrid players are just the messy friend in the group, and no one invited them.
Very much true. But as of this morning, Marc Cucurella is now a Real
There you
Madrid
go.
player. So there's a sprinkling now of drama.
And he's got messy energy.
And he's a former La Masia Barcelona graduate.
Yeah.
So that's the noise now that's entering.
Yeah.
But whether that is enough to kind of derail their group stage, I don't know. But yeah, they look good at the moment.
On the Cape Verde side of things, one of the 3 smallest countries ever to qualify for a World Cup. They definitely have the not we're happy to be here energy, but obviously the big moment was getting here. They are a group that have been together for a really long time. I think that's a positive piece. I think sometimes when you see these countries where you bring in dual nationals, you qualify for a World Cup and all of a sudden it's like everyone wants to play for the first time. And this group has stayed together. They had convinced people already to get involved, and they haven't gone overboard and being like, yeah, Kevin Prince Boateng, you can show up once every 4 years and be a part of this. And then it's like, we don't know how the culture went wrong. And it's like, maybe bringing strangers into the locker room doesn't really help. So I think that's a positive. A lot of these guys play at a pretty good level. This won't be the first time they're seeing as good as Spain is. A lot of these players have played in La Liga. They've played in European competitions. So I think there should be some hope that this is a Cape Verde team that can you put on a good showing? And if you can you set yourself up going to the rest of the group where every real possibility with Saudi Arabia in your group that you could steal 3 points, and 3 points could get you out of the group stage.
Absolutely. That game, 12 p.m. Eastern today. All right, let's move it along to Belgium facing Egypt in Seattle in Group G. Action at 3 p.m. Goss,
I'm high on Belgium.
Are you?
I'm very high on them. I think I took Jeremy Doku in our Golden Boot draft.
You did take Jeremy Doku, but we've had conversations before about this golden generation of Belgium, and they missed their window. Essentially.
I think they're not a golden generation anymore. I think they're a good tournament team.
Okay.
I think the potential of strength up the spine and Doku. I think Jeremy Doku can be the breakout star of this, which is this team. They have a really good path. I think they have the easiest group. I think they're a clear top. If they get through, they end up in a connection probably with US's group, which I think is very even, but that's because there's not a ton of great quality. Mm-hmm. So if you're Belgium, your road to 16 is pretty straightforward. And I think you've got strength along the spine to not concede a lot. I think Yuri Tillemans can help you run a game as well as anyone. And I think when he's on, Doku is a consistent match winner. And so if he has a good tournament, I think there's enough pieces in there to sneak a semifinal. So that's where I've gotten the excitement for them. And I will be proven wrong in about 10 hours. So I look forward to that.
Well, it's that they've got to start with a tough game. I don't know. I think the jury's out for me on Belgium. I think they've also got a lot of players with injury issues who haven't had really consistent seasons. I think Doku finished the season really well for City, which is good.
I mean, it felt like a lot of the City games late on. It was like if he didn't create the moment, it wasn't happening.
But I think there's so much. I think the noise around them and the expectation because of the post-golden generation thing is now no one sort of pays attention to them because I think, they kind of just written them off. And that can work in your favour.
It certainly can.
Like it.
But of all the European teams in this competition, they're not one I've kind of circled. But if the path kind of, works out for you, then you can go far.
Here, let me give you my fake one. I had them Austria in the knockout round. And then after that, the winner of Turkey-Bosnia. This isn't right because I've already gotten some of it wrong. But in theory, that's the level of opponent. It will be the second place team from Argentina's group. It'll be second or third from Canada and US's group, both weaker groups. That takes you into a quarterfinal. So that's all you can ask for is one doable game in a knockout tournament. And so I think they're set up in a pretty good spot. They're also playing in Seattle and Northern California, a little bit less heat. So does that help you sustain as the tournament goes longer as well? And Kevin De Bruyne loves the U.S. He's here every year.
He does.
Yeah.
He does love it. For Egypt, though, I mean, this team revolves around one guy, and that's Mohamed Salah. And it feels like if he doesn't perform well, it doesn't bode well for that team. And just the way things sort of ended it was not a good season for Mohamed Salah. So you have to have questions about what he's going to be capable of in this World Cup.
And he's never had the international success he wants. He hasn't won an AFCON.
Yeah.
They haven't progressed.
And they play very negative football, and that hasn't worked in his favour. The style of play does not suit him. You talk about kind of, trying to, be savvy and navigate knockout football, but they're like the opposite. They're so negative that they're really hard to watch. So I think they could get out of this group, but I don't think it's going to be pretty.
Yeah.
No, certainly not.
But I wonder then, the year in which he's had his lowest club career year in a decade, would it be then the year where he has his breakout international moment? Because if he gets out of the group stage, he is already the greatest player in Egyptian history, as much as I love Mohamed Abu Trika, and I will talk about that forever. He's already the greatest player. He's probably the greatest player in African history, but that's a longer conversation to have. This would be that crowning achievement moment just to carry a national team to that. And as you said, it hasn't been pretty. Everything they've accomplished, the AFCON final they made was him dragging this team through the mud. And I think 2018 was unfortunate with the injury at the Champions League final. He clearly wasn't himself. And so he lost that opportunity to probably at his peak elevate the team. So now it would be this like kind of fitting moment of like right at the end. It would be it's Messi winning last World Cup, but winning a World Cup for Egypt, just getting out of the group stage. And could he like sort of right at the end with everything he's learned, just controlling as much as he possibly can he seek them over the top? And obviously Omar Marmoush, like there's other talent in this group, which he hasn't always had at the peaks of their powers.
All right, Belgium taking on Egypt at 3 p.m. Eastern today. Let's move it along to Iran versus New Zealand in Los Angeles. Group G, 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, the final match of this evening. Let's give us some talking points, Doyle.
This game is taking place.
Doyle.
You call me
Gosh.
Doyle, yeah.
Oh my God.
This game is taking place in Tarangelis, California. If you've never heard that phrase before, Westwood area around UCLA is known as Tehran of the U.S. Tarangelis, Los Angeles. It is the largest Persian diaspora community outside of, obviously, Iran. People who have been here for 40, 50 years. I went to an Iran World Cup game in 2018 in Russia. And everyone I met was an American-based Iranian who had flown halfway around the world to see their team play. You don't think they're going to drive the 9 hours because of traffic in LA to get to this team. I think this stadium is going to be 80% Iran fans, 10% neutrals, and maybe like 6,000 New Zealand fans. New Zealand people like to travel and party, so they'll probably get there. I have no idea what the soccer looks like. Iran obviously can't stay in the U.S. for more than a night, so they flew in yesterday, which... It's not like it's Tijuana to LA. It's not crossing the entire continent. It's like a 3-hour drive if you do it that way, but it's not ideal. The other thing that hasn't really been discussed is there's no Iranian league. They haven't played soccer in like a year. So anyone on this team who's domestically based or in the Middle East, they haven't really played games. So on top of all of the challenges this team faces, that's another one thrown in. There are some pieces like a Sardar Azmoun who's not been brought into the team for it feels like political reasons. He hasn't been at his best, but that's a guy who has started for you at 2 World Cups and scored goals. So there's a lot going on around this. I have zero idea what the soccer is going to look like. My guess would be this is one of the worst soccer games you will ever watch.
Could this be our first 0-0 maybe?
Ooh.
But I guarantee you every corner kick, every touch of the ball will be buzzing in your ear.
We'll over-index on vibes.
Yes. I think the ceiling or whatever that canvas thing is might come off the building for this one. So I'm super excited. I think Iran-Egypt is the game decider in the next game between who gets out of the group. And then Iran will come back to LA for a second game. So they were like one of 3 teams that plays in the same venue twice, and it happens to be the best venue they could possibly play in outside of their own country. So yeah, get locked in. Everyone get hyped.
What I'm hyped for on the New Zealand side is Tim Payne. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
So Tim Payne was basically dubbed the least known footballer in the world. And so there's a content creator named Valen Scarsini, known as El Scarso, basically launched a campaign to make this guy popular. It's so good. So he had under 5,000 followers on Instagram before this El Scarso made this campaign. He now has more than 5 million followers in just a few days.
5 million?
5 million. Tim Payne is a global sensation.
It was like 1.2 million in 10 hours. And because he's in New Zealand, it was while he was asleep.
Wow.
So he woke up to a million Spanish-speaking
followers. Do you know
followers.
there's no one that goes harder than South American fans on social media. Like Brazil, Argentina. We just need to get some first touch Brazilian and Argentinian accounts,
yes,
and
exactly.
you'd be in the multi-millions.
I mean, and then you go 5 million.
Soaring.
He like I think he Google translated a message and read it out in Spanish, and then they met a few days ago. But soccer.com has Tim Payne already printed kits.
On the New
They had them going within 24 hours. Shout out to soccer.com for being legit. So you can go get one. He played for Portland Timbers too.
Did he really?
Yeah, I knew the name when I heard it. I mean, I'm like a sicko.
You are
There's something
a
wrong
sicko,
with
but
my
I
head.
love that about
Yeah,
you.
he was a Timbers 2 guy. Maybe he got drafted.
God.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, 2015 to 16. Ugh, I hate that I know that.
He has his his own chant now, which is no pain, no gain.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's just great. You love to
Hell
see it.
yeah.
Those are the stories.
The
I'm here
way
for.
I've seen him interact with it is like
It's adorable.
exactly how you'd want someone to of like, this is so silly, but I'm so happy, but this is so
He's
weird.
He's very awkward and adorable about it. But
World Cup, baby. Nothing else does
nothing
this.
else like it. Guys, that's it for us. Flo, thanks so much for hanging
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
To Dallas. Bring it
Fingers
home, girl.
crossed.
A little barbecue.
It's coming home. It's coming home. Harry Kane needs
I'm not
to
saying
score some
that.
goals.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want Harry Kane to score goals. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we are going to be here every single morning throughout the tournament, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Join us. It's a whole lot of fun. You might learn some things. I feel like I do every day.
Me too.
I know.
Yeah.
It's what we're here for. But yeah, enjoy all the soccer today. We'll see you tomorrow.